going to be figuring out what I should not do if I go to the south of the USA, but I'm also going to be figuring out what I should do if I go to the south of the US of A. Welcome to the do's and don'ts of visiting the south. My name is Adam. I'm currently quite sick. If you're new here, hello, and welcome to this mess of a show. Feel free to stick around by leaving a like, subscribing, or I'll steal your milk tomorrow morning. Oh, I've done it before and I'm prepared to do it again. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I uploaded a video actually uploaded 3 videos a couple days ago. A couple of vlogs of my time in Orlando, and a lot of people started saying welcome to the US. The vlogs are from 2019. I probably should have done a bit of a edit on them and told you guys that, but they were basically ripped from my other channel, and I know if you guys watched them, you're probably wondering why the fuck is this so low quality? And I just don't know. I don't know. It didn't let me download it in HD. The highest version I could download it in was 720p, and yeah, it was HD before, but not anymore. It looks like ass, but I thought I'd upload them anyway to build a bit of hype, because I am going again on the 1st of October, which is kind of why I upload them, just so you can see what I did before, so that you're maybe excited to see me do it again.
Mark here with Walter's World, and
hello,
today
Mark.
we're here in Savannah, Georgia. And today we're going to cover
Georgia
are the don'ts of visiting the south of the U.S., and specifically the southeast, you know, the deep south, the Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, South Carolina, this kind of stuff. Louisiana.
What is that? I'm going to need an in-depth description of what I'm looking at right now in the comments down below, please. Immediately. Right now, while I pause this. I'll give you like 5 seconds so you can pause it and go to the comments.
Louisiana, South Carolina, this kind of stuff, because there's some things you should know that are different than the traditional don'ts of the U.S. There's specific, in general, there's some we want to focus on just for here in the South. And the first don't I have for you is don't forget your manners. Look, manners are free. A huge thing in the South. Whether you're a little kid or you're an old man, you need to have your manners when you're here. You do use your pleases and thank yous and yes ma'am and yes sir and things like that. That is not optional. That is how you speak when you're here, and you always show people respect, especially people that are older than you, okay?
Yes,
so you will be holding the door for people and things like that. And I'll tell you, don't you ever let an old Southern woman or an old Southern man or anyone that seems older than you stand up. You always give up your chair to the older ladies or the older gentlemen when you are there, because it is a sign of respect. That's how it works here in the South, because manners are a huge thing.
I feel like that's the way it probably should be everywhere, man. I feel like that's the way it is here as well. If you are a decent human being, you should probably just do that everywhere.
You are here. And another thing is don't forget to smile when you are here. You'll see how happy and friendly the people are. And one of the parts that is just this happy-go-lucky nature that you have here in the South. So don't forget to smile, because you will have a good time. And with that is, don't be surprised if people randomly start up conversations with you when you are here in the South. Going grocery shopping, if you pass by somebody maybe twice in 2 different aisles, don't be surprised you strike up a conversation out of the blue on the next aisle. It is a completely normal thing here, because the Southerners are super friendly. I know, we were at a restaurant here in town a couple days ago. My credit card fell through the crack in the floor that goes like a deck kind of thing that they had built up. They pried up the floor to get my card out. I'm like, dude, I can call and cancel the card. It's okay. They're like, no, we got this taken care of. The people in the South are super friendly, so don't freak out about it. It's not fake. They are really that friendly and that helpful. So don't be scared to ask for help when you come here. That's another tip I have for you, because you're going to see towns like Savannah or Charleston. There's so much history here. You're not sure, what should I be looking at here? I mean, you have this picture. What should I look at? Well,
if I was to go to the south of the USA, guys, where would be the best spot to go for me to see a lot of stuff? You know what I mean? Like a lot of stuff. Where should I go?
The Cotton Exchange right there. Like, oh, there's a historic building. You got the fountains, and you got the Capitol building.
Boiled peanuts.
These things. You're like, wow, it is kind of a
I still need to try them, man.
You want to know more.
Still need to try them.
The Southerners do have a lot of pride in their hometowns, in their home states and stuff like that, that they will share that with you. So don't be afraid to ask, hey, we're the best biscuits in town.
He loves them.
We're going to get the best, you know, the strongest drinks in town. They will be friendly and they will help you out. One of the things is, when you do talk to the Southerners, you might notice that sometimes they're an accent. And what I will say is, don't think that that accent makes them stupid, okay? Just because someone has an accent doesn't make them like not know something or be less intelligent or whatever.
What
and you
the
have this
hell is
stereotype
this?
that TV and radio and movies really kind of promote is, oh, if you got an accent, you must be some kind of hillbilly. Do not think that the Southerners are hillbillies. Don't think their accent makes them stupid. It's not the case. You can have some great
conversations. I feel like a lot of people probably do that.
When you are here,
and
they'll know more than you actually think they do. And so I want to give you the heads up on that. And another don't I have with you is, when you are here and you do bring your kids, don't be surprised if your kids are acting up, if the locals will tell your kid, hey, straighten up. Hey, get it together. You will see that here. People do scold other people's kids when you're here in the South. And I know if you're in the North or you're in California, West Coast or something like that, and someone tells your kid, hey, watch it, kid, you're like, don't tell my kid what to do.
But that happens.
I've had people do that to us before. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, your kid just kicked me. Am I supposed to let your kid, hit me or something? Here, that stuff doesn't fly. Your kid's acting obnoxious. Be prepared to have people call you out on that. Because remember, number one, manners, okay? And that goes from young to old. So make sure little Johnny or little Susie know that, hey, you say yes, ma'am.
I remember at a young age the manners are free. I remember I went in to ask my dad for some monies to go to the local arcade, and he told me to walk back out of the building, come back in, and ask me the same exact thing, but say please at the end of it. And he gave me twice as much as what he was going to. So, little lesson in life that manners are free, and they get you places, and they make you look like a nicer person.
And yes, sir, please and thank you, and you don't make a mess, all right? So just a heads up on that one. Now, when they do call out your kids for the behavior, they're not judging you and judging your parental skills and stuff like that. What they kind of do here in the South is it's the old mantra. It takes a village to raise a child, and so the whole village is helping out raising the child, okay? So don't be offended by it. Because you know what? It is hot when you're here, and that's my next don't is don't melt when you come to the South.
I'm gonna melt.
Look, July and August,
I would melt.
Oppressive heat in pretty much
Bro,
the
you
entire...
can't just tell me not to melt. I am white, extremely pale, Irish skin. If I go to a hot country like this, you're gonna be scraping me into a drink at the end of the day. I could be slurped after one day in the South. Slurped.
Deep South, and in lots of places, oppressive humidity. Like you walk out, you're like, oh, I'm
sun cream don't work on me.
Help me, God. You do have that when you are here. So if you're gonna come, there's a reason why so many people winter in the South, because it's got nice weather in the winter. So come down here from October till April, and you're not gonna have the insane heat. You're gonna have nice weather and less humidity. But don't expect to not die of the heat and humidity if you do come in July and August. So
Expect to not die?
It could be pretty bad, okay? And I guess one of the other don'ts I'll have for you is if you're really hot and you want to get a drink and you go in, they might ask you, hey, what kind of Coke do you want? You're like, what? So my thing is, don't think that Coke just means Coke. Here, a lot of times what you'll see is they'll say, hey, what kind of Coke you want? They mean, what kind of soda would you like? What kind of pop or sody pop or drink? It's just the word they use for soda is Coke, okay? So don't freak out. I don't drink
that's
Coke.
good to know.
I know we have lots of different Cokes, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, whatever. You do have that when you are here. Now, the last few years, I've definitely seen a drop off in the number of places where they do use Coke as the de facto word for soda or soda pop. So you might not see it too often, but occasionally you will. So I just want to give you that heads up. And the thing is, if you're gonna meet up with Southerners to have a drink, whether it's a Coke or a beer or whatever, is you gotta realize is don't expect the Southerners to be on time. There's definitely a much more laissez-faire attitude with time here in the South. And as Jocelyn will tell you, look, with this kind of humidity, how's my hair gonna dry? You know, these kind of things, it takes a little bit more time. Or Jocelyn will tell me, hey, I've got to get my face on.
Bro, how big is that bucket?
The thing is time is very relevant here. So if you're setting up a time, hey, let's meet at 8 o'clock, they might not be there till 8:30 or something like that or later. And don't worry if they write, she's like, oh, we're on our way. And that means like, I'm getting in the shower, okay? So
that's worldwide, bro. Don't you worry about that. That's worldwide, man.
On time, not always a thing to expect to have here.
Cute
now,
couple,
going
bro.
back to that drinky kind
Look
of
at
thing.
that.
Another thing you need to know is when you get tea here, don't think your tea is going to be unsweetened, okay? In the South, you drink sweet tea, period, end of story. Unsweetened tea belongs in one place, down a drain, all right? So if you're going to get tea, it's going to be sweet tea, all right?
Bro, I thought he was going to say England. Down a drain, England, kind of same place.
It's really good. And don't think that sweet tea is tea plus sugar. No, no, no. For all my friends, when you go to a restaurant in the North and you ask for sweet tea, they say, oh, I have sugar packets with the tea. You're like, no, that's not the same thing, all right? So don't expect unsweetened tea when you're here. But the thing is if you're looking at food, honestly, if you're going to be coming to the South, don't bring tight clothes, or at least bring a belt with a couple extra loops on it, because you're going to eat so much when you're here, because there's so much good food, from the fried chicken, the biscuits, the grits, oh my God, the barbecue, there's so much fantastic food that, yes, you will get quite big when you are here. I mean, I'll show you a picture
waffles.
before I started coming to the South, and this is what I look like now.
What's the stuff on top of it?
Okay, so heads up with that. So don't forget a bit more room in your clothing when you are here. Now, my next stones kind of focus on some misconceptions of Southern food. No, they don't fry everything, but they do fry a lot. But honestly, my biggest stone would be that, look, don't think that barbecue goes on the grill. The grilling things you grill on your barbecue at home is hot dogs and burgers and steaks.
Man,
barbecue
look at
here in
that.
the South is smoked meat.
Look at
Whether
it.
it is, of course, a Boston butt.
Nah, you guys are kidding me. Like, how am I supposed to eat that? How? Give me it immediately.
Oh my God, pulled pork is fantastic. Or you're having brisket or whatever. You have the smoked meat that's been on there
It looks
for
so good.
hours and hours, and it makes it all succulent and juicy, and it's so good. And that's why when you're in the South, you're eating barbecue all over the place. Because the thing is, if you're thinking that barbecue is just grilled meat, think about it. If you put a steak or any kind of meat on your grill,
What is that?
straight on the flames for 7
Banana
hours,
pudding?
you know what you'd have? Charcoal, okay?
True.
It's not the same thing. So don't think barbecue is on the grill. It's in a
Oh
smoker.
my
just
God, I didn't
sucking
know
in all
this was
those
going to be a food video, bro. I haven't ate.
flavors. So definitely get barbecue when you are here. I'm not going to lie to you. Another don't I have for you actually dealing with those barbecue thing is don't be surprised if the barbecue sauce you have varies from state to state. So here in Georgia, we have sweet barbecue sauce, right? But if you go to
I didn't know that. I thought this was going to be like laws, bro. I did not expect to be coming on here today to be looking at succulent, juicy food. God's sake. Speaking of succulent food, stream over on Twitch. There's a link in the pinned comment down below. I would love to have a couple of you guys coming over. Speaking of Twitch, your Clars48, if you watched my videos on YouTube and you're watching this one right now, I just seen you followed on Twitch. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you.
South Carolina, it's like a barbecue-based barbecue sauce. If you go to North Carolina, it's a vinegar-based barbecue sauce. If you go to Memphis, well, Memphis, they use a dry rub on their ribs.
Walking in
So you have
Memphis.
all these different kinds of barbecue you could have. I mean, I was in Alabama, and oh my God, I had some fantastic ribs when I was there. And here in Savannah, I'm doing the pulled pork, and I mean, you just have all these different
Loves it.
variations.
Just this guy
so
loves
don't
it.
think, oh, I'm doing a Southern tour. We had barbecue in North Carolina. I don't need to have it again. You should, because it will be different in each place you go. And one thing that kind of goes along with the regional differences in the barbecue is also don't think that all the South is the same. I mean, if you're going to Atlanta, it's a very different experience.
that's a very
than coming
important
here
one,
to
'cause I
Savannah or
probably
going to
do, to
Charleston,
be fair.
which is very different than going to
I'll be
New
honest, I
Orleans or
probably do.
Natchez in Mississippi, or going to Memphis versus Nashville or Knoxville.
Here's the reason people like me would think like that, right? Here's my POV. It's because I come from Ireland, right? I live in Northern Ireland, UK. And where I live, it's quite small. So culture here and things that we do is probably the same the whole way around the country, right? Maybe a little bit changed, maybe a little bit different depending on, where you are, but not that much different. Whereas you guys live in a place that's enormous, absolutely enormous. And that's obviously why a lot of stuff differentiates depending on where you are. So that's probably why we think like that. It's not a great way to think, but it's what we just got brought up with, So whenever we go, if I was to go to like a place like this, I'd probably think that if he didn't mention about the barbecue sauce, I probably just would have thought barbecue sauce is the same everywhere, but clearly not.
Going to the Outer Banks and these kind of things, you have a lot of different kind of regional differences in the South, whether it's geography,
What
whether
is
it's people,
that?
whether it's food and cuisine and stuff like that. And yes,
Holy-
different types of barbecue that are out there. So don't think it's all the same. And don't think, well, I went to Atlanta, I saw the South. No, you saw part of the South. So go and explore more.
Well, I will
of it.
not be skipping on
Another
Waffle House,
don't I
don't
have
worry,
for you
bro.
has to do with that beautiful Spanish moss you see behind me. See it just kind of dripping down there. Oh, it is so
This tree, I love these trees. Do you know what it reminds me of? Red Dead Redemption 2. Arthur Morgan. R.I.P. Streamed it on Twitch. Great game.
cool, and you want to go and grab some and hold it like, oh, should I wear it as a shawl? Look, my don't for you is, so you're in the coastal part of the South and you see Spanish moss, don't touch it. There's little buggies in there. There's little chiggers in there that will bite you and bite you and bite you, and you get all itchy and stuff like that. So don't try to make
I
your
definitely
own, I'm
would
gonna be
have.
Mark Walters
Walter.
picture and stuff it in your shirt so you get a big belly like me. Don't do that, okay? Because that stuff, man, you'll be like, can't
Oh,
make
Walter,
it
thank you,
stop.
brother, because I
And that's
definitely
more-
would.
I mean, most people would know to do that, not to do that, but I have seen a lot of kids, they'll go and start playing with it, and their parents don't realize it, so I want to make sure you know, don't play with the Spanish moss. Now, a
Thank you.
fashion don't I have for you, and I know I am not the person to listen to about fashion, and that's okay, is if you're a tourist, don't worry if you feel underdressed. Look, here in the South, you can, I mean, there's fashion, all fashion is acceptable here. You'll see people wearing flip-flops and G-strings,
When-
and you'll see people wearing their
You say G-strings? Just walking around in a G-string. Are we talking about the same G-string? All right.
Southern gentlemen best in their seersucker suits, you'll see that. And the thing is, though, if you go to, for example, you go to a football game in Georgia, guess what? You'll see people in heels. We were at the grocery store at Publix, and people are doing their grocery shopping in heels. It's not an uncommon thing. So don't feel that you have to dress up that nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, people will be appreciative of it, but you don't have to dress up that nice when you are here. So another don't in the South is don't mess with the mayonnaise. And in the South, you got two great mayonnaise. The best is Duke's. This
I mean, don't mess with the mayo.
Blue Plate, also very much an acceptable kind of thing. Not Miracle Whip, no, never that. But Duke's, Blue Plate, you'll be good to go, and you'll get it on all kinds of stuff. Now, another Southern food I want to give you a don't for are grits, okay? And my thing is, don't think grits are just for breakfast. Because when you see grits, they look like a cream of wheat or an oatmeal or a porridge kind of thing. But the thing is, they do look like that, but they're actually made out of hominy. If you're not sure what hominy is, it's like a corn derivative, so you do have that. But the thing is, you look at it, you think, oh, this is going to be like a porridge. It's only for breakfast. Oh, no, 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 no. Grits are good any time of the day. You can
I don't know what it is, but it looks great.
Cheese grits, which is always good. My personal favorite, if you're looking for something like a lunch or a dinner thing, shrimp and grits, oh my God, it is so good. So don't think grits are just for breakfast. It may look like it, but it so isn't. And going along with that, don't think biscuits are the same here as well. Because biscuits in the South, there's a different kind of flour they use. So make sure if you get a chance to grab some biscuits whenever you can, because oh my God.
I ain't gonna lie, this is one of the things I'm looking forward to most whenever I come to the US. Going somewhere and trying biscuits and gravy, bro. I cannot wait. They better be good. Make sure to subscribe with the notification bell on so that when I do upload that video that has me eating them in it, you don't miss it.
They are so good. Seriously, don't pass up the food in the South. I've said it before, I'll say it again. And pie to, oh my God, anything you have here is awesome. And the thing is, if you're going to cities like Savannah, you'll have Southern...
You know what it is that I haven't talked about really, but might be why I love America so much? The food there. I feel like you guys love cheese so much. And I love cheese so much. It's one of my favorite things about being alive. Whenever I die, I'm going to miss cheese. I'm not gonna lie.
Traditional Southern cuisine, you know, collars and stuff like that. But you also have newer kind of fusion kind of Southern food, so you can have all kinds of great mixes. Now, another thing you should know is when you come to the South, I know when people come from around the world to come visit the U.S., we have a very popular sport here in the U.S. we call football, or you might call American football. And here in the South, it's like a religion. People love their SEC football. They have their Georgia Bulldog shirts on, or their Alabama, the Crimson Tide, or LSU, or whatever. They really love their football.
I love that you guys love it so much.
And so if you're gonna make this thing, oh, it's boring, soccer's better,
stuff like this.
basketball's better, just don't. I'm telling you right now, it is not worth the headache of the discussion because they love their football here. They're super passionate about it. And don't pass up the chance to go to a football game.
Who the hell's talking down on sport? Can you imagine living a life where you don't like sport? It's like living without music. Grow up!
On a Saturday in the fall, because it'll be a great experience, not just for the game, but don't miss out on tailgating, the party before the game, when you're grilling out and you're drinking beer with your buddies and stuff like that. It's a whole experience, awesome. And you'll see that, wow, why is it on the Saturday, it's from 3 till 6, the city was empty? Oh, because the Georgia Bulldogs were playing, and so everybody in town was watching the game. You do have that when you are here. And I guess another don't I'll give you is when you're preparing for that tailgate and you're going to the grocery store or the grocery, when you get your stuff, you know that little thing you fill up with all the groceries?
Trolley.
That thing you push around? Don't call it a cart here. It's called a buggy, all right? It's a buggy you push around. And my last don't for you is don't skip out on visiting the South. You will fall in love with it, with amazing architecture, amazing people, tons of beautiful towns to visit. You go to Natchez, Mississippi, on the Mississippi River and seeing all the homes there, or visiting New Orleans and seeing the history there and the Creole culture. Maybe you're heading up to Oxford, Mississippi, where Ole Miss is, or you're heading through Alabama, or you're coming here into Savannah, Georgia, or going to Charleston, or hitting Atlanta, the mega metropolis of the South, going up to Asheville for amazing beer, or hitting the Outer Banks. There's so much great things to enjoy in the South that you really want to go and explore. And that's why I tell people, don't try to see the whole U.S. Pick a region and focus on that. And the South is a great region to see because you can drive around lots of places. The roads are good because there's no freezing and thawing, so the highways stay even, which is awesome. And you really, really love it because the people, they care about their cities, they care about their towns. They have a very much pride in those places. So they want to share that with the tourists like you.
I like this guy. If you haven't yet, guys, go check out this guy, Walter's World. Awesome video. Absolutely loved it. I could have listened to that guy talking about the South for an hour. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the video. And I've learned a lot in that video here today. And most of all, I think I've learned that I really want to go to the south of the US. So again, where should I go? Gotta let me know. Because if I do end up planning something, it's going to be because of you guys. Thank you so much for giving me your time. If you've watched this the whole way through and you haven't yet subscribed, please sub. We're on the road to 200k. I'm throwing it out there, okay? We are aiming for 200,000. Don't know whenever we'll ever make it, but we could do if we try. I'd love you to be a part of it. I love doing this, guys. I love that you guys love watching these reactions to the place you guys are all from. It's awesome. We have a good time. Either way, thank you for watching the video. Peace.